Good evening, and I welcome you to your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. It's always a delight to come your way every Mondays, just around this time, 8 p.m. And I keep telling you that it is a delight because it gives us the opportunity to discuss the future of Ghana and to also look at how best we can protect and transform Ghana, particularly for the sake of our next generation. I'm your host, Emmanuel Wilsonjnr. And this evening, as always, we are going to look at one other topic that is of importance to all of us. The rains are here. Last year around this time, we were here having a conversation. Little did we know that 1 year will be on very soon and we'll be faced with the same problems. And I'm making reference to the deadly floods in Ghana's cities. The floods are here again. And I keep asking myself, what are we not doing right as a country? Because this is not the first time. As I said earlier, somewhere last year, we talked about it. Today, we are here again talking about it. When the flyer went out, a friend sent me a message and was like, okay, so which experts are you bringing to your studio today? And I told them, the person, that last year we had an expert to discuss the flood. Over the past years, we've had experts discussing the flood. And yet, every year on, we are recording the same problem. Maybe it is time for us to do away a bit with the experts and have our own conversation. And when I talk about our own conversation, I'm making reference to you, the viewer, and then me. Those of us who are hard hit by these floods, let's have our own conversations and see, probably, we may get some solutions. And so this evening, you are going to be my guest. This platform is going to activate the phone lines in due course for you to share in your experiences, share in your story, and then profess solutions as to how best we can take care of these floods once and for all. I am tired, and I believe you are also tired. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll dive straight into the conversation. And in due time, as I indicated, the phone lines will be activated. Meanwhile, whilst we wait for the phone lines to be activated, you can send in your comments as we've always been doing. Your comments, your questions, your solutions, your stories. Share with us through our WhatsApp line as indicated or expressed on the screen and through our social media handles that we have on the screen. I'll be right back. Stay tuned.
If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehinfa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre, menya bosia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yemamu akwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodo bi te sɛ dwadefo abosia, ekoko abosia, susu account, and it so wɔ hɔ savings account, me bada chain savings account, and the akeka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 034229186. Na won so wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Every human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596-273-546 or 0596-273-547. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. I'm your regular host, Emmanuel Wilsonjnr, the Chief Crusader against corruption here in Ghana. And as I indicated, this evening we are looking at the floods in this country. We call it the deadly floods in Ghana's cities. Are you aware that if the period in which Ghana has experienced this unfortunate situation known as the flood, if that period, or if the flood was indeed a human being, the flood should have been heading towards pension by now, looking at the age that per law we describe a person to be going towards or retiring, going towards the retirement. I want you to look at a publication that happened on the front page of the Daily Graphic as far back as 1960. And if we can have it on the screen. And this is 1960, when the rains came to Accra, and for that matter, when the rains came to Ghana. And so as I keep saying, the problem of flooding in Accra is a pensionable problem. And this is exactly what, I got through the period when I was researching for this evening's program. More than 60 years on, we are still having the same problem. And I keep asking myself, are we not tired as a country? Is something really wrong with us? Where are the experts? Where are the individuals that we are paying with our taxes to think and to profess solutions? Where are the individuals that we are paying with our taxes over these past years who are supposed to ensure that the right things are done? Because, you see, the flooding issue has become a recurring issue. Anytime we have heavy rains, the city's drainage system becomes so overwhelmed. And in recent times, records tells us that we keep losing human beings over and over and over. In the southern regions of Ghana, and I'm making reference to Greater Accra, Western, and Ashanti region, it is reported that at least in recent times, at least 8 individuals have died in flooding across these regions. When you go to Upper East, at least, again, the report suggests that at least 5 individuals lost their lives. Northern region, 8 individuals lost their lives. And they didn't just lose their life, we also had over 227,000 people who were affected by the flood. Upper West region, average of 4 deaths has been recorded. And there's a report of over 200 lives that have been affected. And when I talk about lives that have been affected, I'm making reference to damages of properties and all that you can think of. Displacement and homeless. Thousands of people have been displaced in this country as a result of flood. In terms of infrastructure damages, in fact, if you look on the screen and see the videos going on, it tells you what is really happening. We have floods damaging our roads, our bridges, and our buildings. And indeed, anytime we have these things happening, particularly damages on our roads, bridges, and buildings, it directly and indirectly affects our economic activities. This wouldn't have been an issue because we thought that, well, since last year, for over 60 years on, we've been talking about it, so gradually things are going down. But if you again look at, particularly on the 18th of this month, 2025, the flood that took place, especially in Greater Accra, it raises a whole lot of issues and worries. And that is the reason why this evening it is important for us to talk about it. And this time, we want to put, not to disrespect any expert, but we want to put them aside this evening. We want to discuss it. Those of us that this issue of flood is affected, we want to discuss it. We want to share our experiences. We want to share our views and our stories. and possibly talk about solutions. Why do you think we are not able to resolve this once and for all? Now, this evening, just when we're about to start, someone sent me a message and said, boss, it is not just the flood that is affecting us as a country, but very soon, if we look at how we are building without any plan, very soon, if there should be an earthquake, this country called Ghana will not exist. And that is really another topic for another day. But today we are looking at even the flood. We talked about the causes of it, which all of us know because we've been talking about this so many years on. We always say that we have poor land use planning, uncoordinated development, and weak enforcement of regulations contribute significantly to flooding. Encroachment on wetlands and waterways exacerbates the problem. We know this, and yet we keep doing it. What is alarming is that the flood is not just being recorded in old cities or towns or vicinities, but in developing new areas where we are now developing as a country. We are also recording floods. One of my producers this evening was like, how can we even be having flood in places like Adenta or Ashie? These are recent, fairly new developing places. So we are expecting that we would have had the right structures in place. Today we can have rains and places in East Legon cantonment can get flooded. There's something wrong. Inadequate drainage infrastructure, and that is also very true. We have silted drains, blocked waterways, poor waste management practices, and all of this they contribute to the flood that we keep having. Climate change. Increased rainfall intensity due to climate change further strains Ghana's flood management systems. That is also true. And so you have all these things coming on. And these are the things that are affecting you and I. I keep asking myself, and that is what I asked earlier on, for how long are we going to experience this? Year in, year out. Recently, just last year, around this time, we discussed this extensively on this platform. Are we not learning from it? Where are the authorities, the law enforcers? Where are they? Should we continue to have a fire service approach where the flood takes place and the next moment we have NADMO and all the agencies running up and down presenting relief items and all that, and the rain goes off and everyone goes to sleep? What kind of country is this? How can we make progress when issues that are so avoidable, we are still not able to take care of them? Just yesterday, I drove past a place. They were constructing, building or contracting. How do you call it? Yeah, they were building, and then they were having a construction taking place. Yes, and just by the roadside in front of the construction site, they have a heap of sand. So the sand has taken almost half of the road. The gutter by the roadside was almost gone because a portion of the sand has gone into it. So it was almost gone. And just yesterday I was asking myself, if there should be any rain, how would the rain go through the gutters? Which people are enforcing the laws? In that place, we are supposed to have the MC's, the DC's office. We are supposed to have individuals who are supposed to ensure that the right things are done. Where are they? Are they not aware that people have taken a portion of the road? They've heaped, building materials on the road. And as a result, a portion has gone into the gutters, choking it. But we keep talking about this every day. And yet it keeps repeating itself every time, every now and then. Look at the number of lives that we have lost. And we are still counting because the rains, in fact, the heavy ones are yet to come. This is just the beginning of it. We have the May. Right after May, we have June. That is where the heavy ones comes in. Then July. And it's getting worse. We've always talked about potential solutions such as improved waste management, implementing recycling and composting, which can reduce plastic waste in drains. We've talked about this so many times. Experts, have talked about this so many times. We are expecting that individuals who are supposed to enforce this will do so because that's why they are being paid. And yet, nothing is happening. Strict enforcement of land use regulations. You go to Adenta, just around there's a church there called the Roman Catholic Church, just around the Catholic Church, down after the flat, the Smith flat. So get into the Adenta housing, or Adenta down as they call it. In the middle of a big gutter, someone has gone to build a house there. It doesn't make sense. You go to other vicinities, and I'm sure very soon when I activate the phone lines, you'll be able to share, what is happening in your area. But this is what is happening. Just go right in front of Trade Fair, just some few minutes drive from here. There was this big gutter, and then overnight, they decided to cover the gutter just because they wanted to create a space for cars to be able to park in front of a shop. Someone has built a shop there and so covered the gutters. And since that time to date, anytime it rains, there's a serious flooding taking place there. When they covered the drainage, where were the municipal assembly? I'm sure it is called Ladade Kotopon Municipal also. Where were they? And we can give examples and give examples and give examples. I went to Soutuum recently, and I was amazed. The exact name for the location that I'm referring to, I didn't get it, but I was amazed. Those of you who live in that vicinity, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Right also in front, just like the one I described that took place, or that has happened at Adenta. In the middle of a drainage, a big gutter, someone has built a house in there, and the person is staying there comfortably with his family. And the surroundings, the neighbors, everyone is quiet. The municipal assembly, everyone is quiet. What exactly is happening in this country? You saw the videos, and there are lots more videos that we can all share. You know them. These are just teasers, because these are things that are happening in your vicinities. Look at the lives that we have lost and we are still losing as a result of flood. What is happening to us as a country? Why can't we get things right? Why can't we just get things right as a country? Someone sent me this message, and it is very, very apt, and I want us to look at it. Before I continue, and before I also activate the phone lines. This one came from Alaji Gomda, who is with Daily Guide. And just a second, Alhaji. It's something I want us all to read. This is what it says. Very simple and short. We are doing a lot of wrong things, obstructing waterways and allowing our lagoons and wetlands to be clogged. We are just reckless. Is that what it is as a country? That we are just reckless. Just recently, there was this man I saw, I think where the president decided to visit the flood-prone areas. I think he visited a place around the Malam markets, on the way to Wager, thereabouts. And there's this place a place that is supposed to be a waterlogged place where we've reserved for rains and drains to go through. And when he got there and was questioning those individuals who have built in there, on those lands, there was one gentleman who, after listening to, I said to myself, this is the reason why Ghana would not go on. In fact, someone described him as a man who had confidence even more than Adolf Hitler. That you have built on a waterway. The president of the Republic of Ghana has come there with an entourage, and they are discussing solutions. And the best thing you can see, he said it in the presence of the president, that look, these lands are registered lands, that we have titles to them. Of course, he can say that because truly he may have titles to them. But I think the question we should be asking ourselves, we shouldn't be blaming that guy so much because he may be speaking out of ignorance. But the question we should be asking ourselves is this. How did those individuals get the title lands? Or how did they get those lands to be titled, to be registered in their names? Which individuals are the Lands Commission granted them those permits and those documents? And why would that be done when those individuals really know that those lands are not lands that are supposed to be given to individuals for them to build on? So we talk about strict enforcement of land use regulations, and over the past years, we've not been able to do that. We also talk about green infrastructure, incorporating rain gardens, green roofs, and permeable pavements, which can help manage storm waters. Have you realized that speedily we are turning everywhere into a concrete jungle? We are not growing grasses anymore. We have concrete jungles everywhere. And so when it even rains, we find it difficult, the rain finds it difficult to get deep into the soil. What is happening to us as a country? When we go in to get permits for our plans, our building plans, those who grant the permit, do they consider all these things? We have what we call public education awareness. Can it be probably a solution? But we've been giving this awareness over and over and over. And that is why we have laws. Because just giving awareness and allowing individuals to act based on their conscience, it's not every human being that has conscience. As human as we are, everyone is selfish, and so they may want to do things without considering their neighbor or even they themselves. And that is why we have laws. And that is the reason why we have even individuals we have employed and we are paying with our taxes to just enforce the laws. Is it that difficult to enforce the laws? Deadly floods in Ghana cities. This, by all standards, have resulted in significant loss of lives and properties. The phone lines are going to be activated now, and you are at liberty to call in whilst we go through some of the messages that have come in. On the screen, you have the phone lines. Call in and share your perspective. What do we do? How do we move from here? It is very, very, very important. This one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. In fact, I think poor supervision, inability of the various MCs, etc., to enforce the local bylaws are some of the problems to this flooding. And this is from our regular tester, Reverend Justice Aposa, from who? So I'll get back to the messages, but this seems to be something that is really, really, really affecting us. Look at the number of lives that we have lost in recent times. We are talking about 8 lives in the southern parts, 5 lives, 8 lives, Upper East, and all that. Good evening, caller, and welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm calling to speak on the program.
Please. Your name. And where you are calling from?
Oh, okay. Please, I'm calling from Ashoman.
And the name is?
I work at so I always plow the road.
Your name is, please. Your name.
Please, Agatha.
Agatha. Okay. Please go ahead, Agatha.
Please, I want to contribute to the program. It looks like the forces from us. You can even check from Burma Camp, Congo Junction to our the stands there on the street, even the island, there are trees growing through the island. That sun always block the way. That's interchange where the president passed to the house. It's not interchange. Maybe the overpass. And anytime it grows, the place gets flooded. A very big flooded. Just 2 days, 3 days ago, that it is dry. It's not even yet dry. But from January up to this time, I don't understand why the place cannot be drained. The place is not swept. Left center, everywhere, there is sun around the place and the weeds are overgrown. Automatically, there will be flood. Those who were sweeping the streets at first, where are they now? I just can't understand. Do we have people who sweep those streets where the sun is there so that it will not block the rainway?
That's right. Agatha, that is really good. I mean, your observations are so apt. So the question is, where are these individuals? We have the drainage system being blocked by rubbish that are created by you and I, or created by most individuals who don't think about their neighbors and don't think about the effects of their actions. But the point is, where are the MCEs? Where are the municipal authorities? Because they are actually those individuals who are supposed to ensure that the right things are done. Caller, good evening and welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly and loudly.
Your name and where you are calling from?
My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed, where are you calling from? Yes. From where? Dodua. Mohammed, please go ahead.
Yes, as a country, we are not serious. Because if you are serious, look at the other time when the president went to this, how do you call it, area. The president, and the president is moving. When we are talking about security, answer, security is not an easy job. The president should move with Minister of Lands. The minister, if they were to be the X1, if they were to be, you are not to appoint a new one at the moment. The one on office, the president should move with all the apparatus. So when he gets there and there is a problem, then he asks him to work on it. The guy who was answering the president, he has no right to answer the president. The president, he is the authority of the land. And just imagine who signed the document from the land. Who signed it? Please, you are not serious as a country. To me, no. You see, all these apparatus has to be working with the president anytime he moves. So that when there's some error, the president should question them. Then you call us, we'll see it last and clear, and then we know that the president is working. But we don't want this talk, whereby the matter will end somewhere. Now, Nadmuk, what is that, etc. Why is Nadmuk was not there when they permit all these to build on the waterway? But today, they say Nadmuk. That's imagine, are we serious as a country? God bless us.
God bless us. So in fact, that's the question we should be. Where are the law enforcers? Individuals that we are paying with our taxes, where are they? Those individuals who are giving permits for people to go and build in places, illegal places where they are not supposed to build. Where are they? Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Yeah, my name is Collins. I'm
Collins. Okay, Collins, go ahead.
Me wo Opanko cemetery ho. From Opanko public toilet to cemetery. That road. That's dangerous sanka. That's who you MC. You will assembly man. So we have crossed there. Other secretary let me get them. Let me ask them for our let me tell you, hello.
Collins, Koso.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you, I make a letter because I don't know air tunnel. Let me. She was so be at this game. Yes, sir. MC, I can't remind Dennis. So much more way from one public toilet to a 7 days because for them. Yeah. Dangerous part.
Collins, one was a MC needing the same.
MC the Dennis.
Okay, one mono municipal needing the same. Then the municipal needing.
Trouble.
Okay, Mate. In fact, that is the point. So be to me, go there. Kona kwa MC, you know. Now make you official complaint to the MC. Only they can say we are feedback be obema obiano. For a line we na catch and then we'll take it from there. I think as citizens, you know, we must take the bull by the horn. And this time, let us demand accountability from individuals at Yetua Wonka. I don't see the reason why we should be paying people just for them to be holding titles and be calling themselves the MC, the DC, and all that you can think of. But at the end of the day, we are those suffering. Do I have a caller on the line?
Hello?
Hello, caller. Welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Yeah.
Good evening.
I'm calling from downside.
Okay, your name?
My name is Mr.
Okay.
My problem is in Ghana here, I did have engineers.
Do we do what?
I did have engineers.
Okay, go on.
Because my problem is, our problem also is depend on our engineers. Because if they are constructing the road, if you saw some places, you can see that even if there is good engineer, example like Tumba, Kaswa Road, Tumba, you can see that the top there, the erosion, but all the time on the roadside. So how are our engineers, what their work? It is that work is near there. So we can control bridge to the dam, but nothing was done right there. So are you not engineers?
I understand you perfectly, and it's a good question you've asked, and that is the reason why I'm like, let's put those who describe themselves as experts now this evening, and let us discuss it among ourselves, because the truth is, if we've been having experts over these past years, over 60 years or so, and we are still experiencing the same problems over and over, getting worse compared to even before, then it simply means there's something wrong. But this evening, my concentration is more on the law enforcers, particularly those who are supposed to lead local governments. The MCs, the DCs, where are they? Is the local government system working very well in this country? Do they even know what they're supposed to do? Anyway, caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Kingsley calling from Ukwasi Mayera.
Mpacho Chiaso.
The truth is, the phone at the Nimuno. One of Boya Abrota.
Ufia bibi to sipo kwasi my rapine. Ekonya da ho fititi. Kwame Nkrumah ye kuta no. The Kaiser Ali Mama company, media company, yes, or ye kwan no. Okudu ba bijai. O try plan so try plan to do. Among fight demonstration or quite so ya me to see them kukum. One about ability at the level. Now get cost on the level on a level cost around the level end. Masa one day the concrete river, cement river, and Quatan on review. They see a new continent so that you have to quasi. I shall 30 years a can free Pukwasa come Ira. Error. A quana say. Tabia one about another, Mr. Mutisa, one abo, or better so, one yachi. Brother, phobia so about Usu, also about Onyashi. And I have bra, bra. Unya Quacape, Ukanya Mount, put the party dama, we had this EMPP, and yet Kisusa. It's yet one demonstration. Sasha, the high, no, it's not be but that was number 4, and Kukma, no man who's so actually, Mr. The time that's what the room or one of the Casamaye, I buy also on Catano, on Canyano Catla, with a Masumina means.
Medasepa, Maminka begins to say, most of the times, may the attention in our core MPs, Neso, and it is not really the best. One way it is almost especially at the municipal level, your district level, your party muno. Almost it is almost the right things are done. The MCs and the DCs. Almost na seeking accountability if you want ho. Almost it is making sure say almost the right things. But you see, when you talk of the MPs, their fundamental duties any umejumane somoko inactive policies. They can lobby, but they are not development agents. The development agents in our vicinities are always the municipal chief executives, the district chief executives, the assemblymen, and the assemblywomen. I'm going to say the attention almost to them more. Do I have a call on the line? Hello, good evening.
Hello. Yeah, good evening.
Welcome to Politics and Beyond. Me pacho din the same.
It's Charles.
Okay, Charles.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me be as citizens, and I'm going to them. They sit in their offices and issue permits without going to the site. That is the problem. Hello, am I on air?
Yes, you're on air, Chiasu.
Yeah, they sit on their offices and issue permits without going to the site and look at what is going on there. People are building in the middle of the waterways.
And it's so worrying.
It's where water is supposed to stay for some time, for some hours, before it drains into the sea.
Yeah.
People are filling them and building upon it. So it is, I think that the government has to be serious by forcing the MCE to do the right thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to property, the city guards that we have in our region don't bother about the rubbish and the work that is supposed to do. But if you're a commercial car and you pick a passenger within the city, they arrest you. The annoying thing is that they took money from some of the drivers. So when they see that the car that they took money from is loading, they won't see it. But if you don't give them money and you take even one passenger, they will arrest you. That's the serious thing. That is the serious job that they are doing. Right. They are taking money from us, we the drivers, and at the same time taking money from the office at the end of the month. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, those are so. This one says, Mr. Watson, the situation looks scary. NADMO must be proactive and not reactive. And this is Amma from Sifi. Good evening, Mr. Watson. I can't think far. Why is the law enforcement agencies not complying with the directives given by His Excellency John Mahama, especially in Accra? The Ramsar site. Okay, I'll come back to the Ramsar site. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Good evening. Can you reduce the volume on your set?
Yes. My name is Elvis. I'm calling from Lakeside.
Elvis, please go ahead.
Yes, between Lakeside and Little Russo.
That's after, all right?
Yes. From this area, it's very.
Oh, sorry, we've lost you. You can call back again. So the message goes, the unauthorized structures are still there. Why? And he's making reference to the Ramsar site. I believe the authorities must wake up and do the needful. If not, the same people will return to blame the government and be asking for logistics for survival. What a shame. And I'm Gazari Anthony from Ashanti Bekwai. Okay, do I have a call on the line? Welcome to Politics and Beyond. Welcome to Politics. Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Smart Aji.
Okay, please go ahead. From where?
Okay. Okay,
Chiaso.
Yeah. Achimansa, the village, the front Achim Asabidi.
Okay.
Fiti Achime Dubiase. No, honorable Pon Kuma, with 2 years. But ye honomono esa ne se o fi yan votu amaninti ye kwan na nya de obeye amai secondly o muko see network e wo krumo the krumo no mu see network no last time ni say because of yan votu amaninti no battery no mo de power how do you call it network no when you battery na de ko small move function. The Yahonum, oh, your caller, Obey Brian Sana, by your call. Tell your money idea, a high.
Matty, me that's a you. Matty, Rebecca was him, and then you can't flood as him. But thank you so much for your concern. So this one says, Mr. Wilson, education is key. People must understand how their daily habits contribute to flooding and what they can do to help. And this is from Kojo, from Tanochrome. The government must collaborate with engineers, environmental scientists, and urban planners to find sustainable solutions. And this is coming from Beatrice in Adenta. Welcome to Politics and Beyond, caller. Hello, when you call, just reduce the volume on your set. Can you hear me? Hello? All right, so let's continue. When he's ready, he will call again. This one says, emergency response is often too slow. How can we improve readiness and rapid rescue during these disasters? And this is Godwin in Ashaiman. Caller, welcome to Politics and Beyond. Hello? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Caller, are you on the line? Can you reduce the volume? Producer, can we take him off, please? When he does it, he can call back again. So please, when you are calling, reduce the volume on your TV set so that we can have a smooth conversation, please. This one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. If in 1960, the population of Ghana was 6.72 million and we couldn't control the floods, how can we control the same floods in 2025? This is an interesting one. I'll come back to it. Hello, caller. Welcome to Politics and Beyond. Your name?
Thank you. My question.
Your name, please, and where you're calling from. Obet me akatwi, you're from saying? Oh no, we lost you. Maybe we can do the very last caller to bring the segment, the calling segment, the phone-in segment to a close. Do you have a caller on the line? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm calling from Manila.
Okay. Please go ahead. Reduce the volume on your TV set. I can hear the feedback.
I want to say is the government should also educate the individuals so that when rain is falling, they shouldn't dump their rubbish inside the gutters, because this makes the gutters choke, making unnecessary, bringing out unnecessary flood in the country or within a vicinity.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's really good. So that is also the public awareness we're talking about. It's very, very important. There are individuals, in as much as we are talking about the law enforcers, the MCs, the DCs, the local governments, it is also important for us to know as citizens that our actions and inactions affect and contribute to this flooding that we keep talking about. The other day, I saw a video of a grown-up man, someone who is supposed to be sane, putting rubbish in the gutter just because it was raining. Who does that? Anyway, so this message, the message continues. This one says that, in fact, I'm interested in this message, so let me start all over again. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. If in 1960, where the population of Ghana was 6.72 million, we could not control the floods, how can we control the same flood in 2025 with a population of 30 plus million? NADMO should move away from being a relief supply organization to a proactive disaster management organization. And that is what I have consistently been talking about. Not just NADMO, all the enforcers, the law enforcers. We must stop this fire service approach to things. Anyway, so this message came from Imoru Abdallah from Bongo in the Upper East region. Mr. Wilson, the culture of waste disposal is also a big problem. Gutters are choked with plastic and refuse, causing water to back up. And this is Joe from Tanoso. We need stronger enforcement of building codes and stricter penalties for illegal construction in flood zones. And this is Ajwa Idome. I agree with you perfectly. If we do have this, you wouldn't have had someone who is supposed to be sane standing in front of the president saying that even though I have encroached and have built on an illegal land, because I have permits, Mr. President, I can do nothing about it and I must stay in because I have permits. I mean, if we have a serious country where laws are enforced, it is just like coming to tell me that, well, I went to commit a crime, but I had permit to commit the crime, and so it is no more a crime. Anyway, so the next message, this one says, the root cause of these floods is a mix of poor drainage infrastructure and unchecked development on waterways. And this is from Time Daso in Tema. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Thank you for always bringing sensitive issues that contribute to nation building. Do know that people are dying in these rains because of corruption. We have people who take bribe and allow people build in illegal sites. That's true. Are we saying that we can't see all this when they are building? The assemblies go and attack kiosk owners and shops to produce permits and deny them of their daily bread. Now our own institutions don't have the nation at heart. They only look at their selfish interest and what they can gather in the short term. And this is wisdom from Bibiani. I'll read this very last one, even though a number of messages, but this is quite lengthy. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. The persistent flooding in Accra is a direct result of poor urban planning, construction on waterways, inadequate drainage systems, and indiscriminate waste disposal that clogs our gutters. Sadly, as real estate continues to boom in Ghana, any patch of land, no matter how critical, is being sold and developed without regard for long-term consequences. Take, for example, the access road next to my property in Pram Pram. It now bears a land for sale sign. At this rate, someone will likely build on it soon, completely blocking the road. This is exactly the problem we are facing. You asked, why can't we get things right in this country? It's not just frustrating. It's a national embarrassment. Solving this crisis demands more than public education on sanitation, which clearly isn't working. Ghanaians often take pride in defying rules, so the only path forward is strict enforcement of building regulations. With real consequences for violations, the folks issuing permits will even take bribe and issue illegal permits. Accra is overcrowded, so we urgently need improved drainage infrastructure, responsible urban planning, and consistent government accountability. Without this, the cycle of poor development and avoidable disasters will only continue. That is true. This is really lengthy, but yes, I read it for a particular reason. So maybe the last one or two messages keep coming. But good evening, Mr. Wilson. I think I've gone through this already. This one says, once again, Mr. Wilson, most DCs, MCs, MMDCs sit in offices without inspection. They must see themselves as working agents, but not title holders. I suggest JDM should remove these officers from office, if not working hard for resetting. And I'm Gazari again from Asante Bekwa. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Please, those engineers and town planners who allowed people to build on illegal lands should be arrested. I agree. I think that is what we need to do. Indeed, what I was expecting the president to have done when he visited the Ramsar land site, and the gentleman came to him and said that we had permits. I was expecting the president there and then to direct and instruct the appropriate agencies to find out the officers that give the permits to these persons and those officers arrested. I was expecting that to have happened, but I didn't hear the president saying anything of that nature. The next moment, these individuals will be empowered and they will be doing the same thing, if not worse, and we will be where we are as a country. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. My name is Doe. I live in Lashibi, Tema West. The Ramsar site from Klagon to Sakumono Beach is being encroached upon with impunity. The authorities must act before it is too late. Thanks. And this Ramsar site, it is quite unfortunate. I personally did some search on it, and I realized that some of the individuals who have bought this land are politicians. Some are members of parliament. How can we grow as a country if individuals who are supposed to, ensure that the right things are done, we are actually paying them with our taxes to ensure that the right things are done? They themselves are taking advantage with impunity, engaging in wrong acts. How can that be? But it is all because we live in a country where they all believe that even when they do the wrong things, the law will not bite and they will be let to go. They will go and nothing will happen to them. We have to bring law enforcement and public education on okay, not so clear. And this is Dumas from Dumasi. Okay, Dumasi. All right, that's fine. Anyway, messages are coming back. I think this is where we'll pause on this evening's conversation. What is important is that all of us must take our destiny into our own hands. And let us say enough is enough. I'm expecting that right after this evening's conversation, from tomorrow, you will go to your various MCE's office, DCE's office, go and lodge complaints. Go and talk about that illegal construction taking place. Go and talk about how individuals are encroaching on wetlands, on lands that are supposed to be roads, access roads. Go and make those formal complaints. And when you do, the responses that will come from these MCEs and DCs, call us and share those reports. We will take it from there. I promise you on this. We will take it from there. Share those reports. And when you do that, share it through the WhatsApp line, the text message line that we've been talking about, the one on the screen. Just send it. You can send an audio. You can send the message. Share with us your encounter with your MCE and DCE after your local government officers, after you've gone to complain to them about that waterlogged area where people are building. We want to know their reactions and their actions. And when you share with us, we will take it up. We promise you on this. All too soon, this is where time will allow us. The rains are here. Unfortunately, we are still where we are as a country. The best advice I can give to you is to take good care of yourself. Take good care of yourself. Take the necessary, security measures that you can take for yourself, your children, your wife, your husband, your household. Just do that for yourself. Whilst collectively we find a way of ensuring that those we are paying with our taxes are doing the right thing that they need to do. Next week we'll continue, probably with this same conversation or with another topic. But till we meet again next week, I'm still your host, Emmanuel Wilson Jr., and all I can say for now is good night.